Welcome to the SMME Sales and Marketing course. Now, when you were introduced to this course, you were asked what would 10, 50, or even 100 more sales do for your company. So just think about it. Maybe you are a baker, you're baking cakes. What would 10 people buying cakes every day, every week, or every month, or 50 people, or 100 people buying cakes from you every day, every month, and every week? What would that do for your company? How much better would your company be doing? How much bigger would your company be? How much more successful would your company be if you had those kinds of sales? So, the objective of this course is to give you a step by step guide on how to make those sales and to do that repeatedly and predictably. That means to do it over and over again, not just a once off, not just once in a while selling to your friends and family or selling to one person that they were referred by your friends and family, but constantly, repeatedly making sales and predictably making sales. That means that you'll be able to predict that in a week, how many sales can I make? In a month, how many sales can I make? In a day, how many sales can I make? So the course was created specifically for SMMEs in South Africa as the need is evident for small, medium, and micro sized enterprises in South Africa and for sole proprietors because there is a clear and apparent lack of the ability to sell in South Africa. And that's why I decided to come up with this course to help those people because I myself also I'm operating in the space of an SMME. So I know the struggles that sales can be. I know how difficult it can be to sell your product or service. We start with the statement if you're not making sales in a business, you're not in business. You might have a hobby or a charity, but the main aim of business is to make sales. So, the basic definition of business is you have a product or a service and you sell it at a profit. No matter what industry type, no matter what business you're running, whether you're a panel beater, whether you're a fashion designer, a hairstylist, whether you are a tenderpreneur, you're in construction, you're in security, you're in the cleaning industry, whatever you're doing, whatever product or service, you're a travel agent, whatever, you can even be a freelancer. No matter what industry you're in, the basic definition of business is you have a product or a service and you sell it at a profit. If you're not selling at a profit, if you're not constantly making sales, then you're not successful in business. It's as simple as that. And so we need to come to a point where we see how important sales is. Clearly, it's important, but then why don't we spend time then getting to know how to sell? Because everything that you know how to do, you learned it at some point. So that's why this course exists. Most businesses will focus on the first part of a business, which is making the product or fulfilling their service. And they spend time and money on that. They're very good at that. They're very good at making their product. They're very good at fulfilling their service. And then the sales, they neglect it as if it's not as important. They treat it as an afterthought. They say, whatever we do, we will make sales because they believe in their minds that a product or a service can sell itself. That is a lie. There's no product or service that sells itself. Every single product or service, you need to be able to sell it. And it's important. The success of your business actually depends on you making sales. If you can't make sales, you can't be in business. It's as simple as that. There's no other story. You would rather go and do something else, but business, you need to be able to sell. Look at McDonald's, for example. Most people make better burgers than McDonald's, but all that does not matter because McDonald's is relevant because it is the best selling, not best value or best tasting, but best selling. We all know an auntie that can make a burger that tastes much better than a Big Mac or a McFeast. But that auntie is not relevant because she doesn't sell as many burgers as McDonald's. She doesn't have the marketing of McDonald's. She doesn't have the brand McDonald's. She's not selling the numbers that McDonald's is selling. Therefore, she's not as relevant as McDonald's. So this course is broken into 6 different chapters, and each chapter has a practical exercise that you must apply to your business, and then you can start making sales the very same day that you take the course. So you can start the course today, and you apply everything, and you can start making sales today. The whole idea is to keep you accountable, to keep you on track with what you have said you were going to do. So we have a WhatsApp group as well where we mentor you, we help you to implement the things that you learn in this course. Because even if we teach you all of the greatest things in the world, if you don't implement them, it means nothing. So action is supreme, and we are there to ensure that you are actually applying what it is. So we make sure that your business succeeds. We make sure that you have sales. We make sure that we are checking up on you to see that you are actually getting the sales that you said you would get. And chapter 1 is all about goal setting and sales forecasting. We begin by determining how many sales you need to make in a month, in a week, and a day. So you'll come with a number that is your goal of how many sales you need to make every day, every week, and every month. And then we will keep checking against that goal. Chapter 2, who is your target market? We define the customer we are targeting in order to determine how best to sell to them. The big mistake also that small businesses make is that you think you are selling to everyone, that everyone and their cousins is your customer. Not everyone is your customer. There are only certain people that are going to buy your product or service, and you need to define that as best as you can. And once you've defined that, then you will be able to sell to those specific people who are actually going to buy your product or service, and you won't waste time speaking to people who are never going to buy your product or service. And then chapter 3 is how do we reach our target market? Advertising and lead generation. How do we speak to them? How do we actually reach them? How do we advertise? How do we get leads from them? A lead is simply somebody that is interested in your product or service. And then the final chapters will take you through the circular model of advertising. That's the meat of the course, the main part. If you listen to one thing in this course, just listen to that circular model of advertising, because it is what is going to make your business sustainable. And then lead conversion, like I said, a lead is someone who's interested in your product or service. So when you convert the lead, that means that you turn them from being interested to actually giving you money and becoming a sale. And then the important part as well, monitoring and evaluation. This is when you check. If you said you're going to make 50 sales in a week, and then you go a week and you haven't made 50 sales, you check, what did I do wrong? What do I need to correct next week so that I make 60 sales or 70 sales to cover for the sales that I lacked this week? So we're going to keep you on that process of checking if you're sticking to your goals. Another area that is going to be touched on is return on investment. The final chapters will touch on this, return on investment or return on ad spend. Most people believe that because we are small businesses and startups, we don't have a lot of finances and that marketing must be free. Marketing should never be free, especially at the beginning, but it can be affordable. And this course teaches you how to make the most out of a small marketing budget. So you starting off as a small business and you think, no, I must just put my stuff on Facebook, put my stuff on social media, tell my family and friends, do everything for free. But if you're doing that, you're going to be making one sale here, two sales there, six sales in 2 months. Your business is never going to be successful. It's never going to be sustainable, or it's going to take you very long to get to the point where your business is sustainable. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be 300 Rand, it can be 200 Rand that you are spending on marketing just so that you can be able to get clients at a consistent basis. Then at the end of it, you are going to have a successful business. So it doesn't have to be expensive, but it needs to be paid. And then an example of return on investment is if you have a product, let's say you have a cake that costs you 200 Rand to make for the ingredients and everything, and then it costs you 10 Rand to sell. So that's what your marketing is for that cake. And you're selling it at 500 Rand, that would mean that the profit is 290 Rand. So that means 210 Rand from 500 Rand, 290 is what you're left with. So on a 10 Rand marketing amount, your return on investment is actually 290 Rand. So not considering all other expenses, but for every 10 Rand you spend on marketing, you get about 290 Rand, which means you make 10 Rand for every, you make 290 Rand for every 10 Rand that you spend approximately We can never calculate this to an exact figure or exact amount because life happens, COVID will happen, and all those kinds of things. So you can't get to an exact amount, but you can get to an approximate amount. You can be able to see on average how much can I sell in a week? How much can I sell in a month? You can be able to calculate this on average and you'll be able to build your business on that. And if you do not spend that 10 Rand for marketing, you'll be sitting with a nice cake. Maybe you and your family can enjoy it, but you won't sell it. And that's where most businesses find themselves. You have a nice product that you've made, but you have not invested in selling it. And remember, business is two parts: it's making the product or service and then selling it at a profit. But you don't invest in the selling it. Therefore, you sit with a nice product or service that nobody knows about, or one or two people know about, and then you go out of business and you've never really achieved much. So I hope you are ready and excited as we go into the sales and marketing course.